Alright, so let's do this next analysis here. Um, let's see here. So let's start with our address position. Just like I did in the previous video, just want to give you a couple things to just take a look at and work on. One of the little things here that is going to make a big difference is just overall setup. Alright, so I like the way your legs are flexed. That looks good, but we need a little bit more bend from the hip area. So um, notice how I have Jason Duffner over here on the right. Notice how his back is bent more over a little bit. It's just a little bit more of an athletic position, which brings his arms. His arms are hanging directly below the grip. All right, and our arms do not really hang. They more or less just kind of drop. So once you have a little bit more bend, more like here, you're going to have a little bit more room in this area here. Allows you to swing the club a little bit more. Swing the club a little bit better. Alright, so like I said, from the hips, alright, you're going to be tempted to do it by bending more with your knees and but like I said, stay with the same knee flex you have. Just bend over a little bit more at your lower back hip area. Alright, and that will kind of free everything up a little bit more. Right now your arms are kind of restricted. Really the only way that they can swing is kind of this direction. Alright, whereas Duffner, he's got a little bit of room here he's created right around in this area, so he can be able to swing directly to the target. Alright, so let's create a little bit of room. Other than that, looks good. I like everything I see so far. So let's go ahead and go up to the top a little bit. Alright, good, good. Alright, one thing that I do want you to work on is keeping our legs just a little bit quieter. Alright, I like that you're turning very well. You know, it's most of the time that's tougher for a more of a beginner golfer to do is turn. I like the turn. I think it looks good. Now we just gotta tame it a bit, I guess, is the right word. So I have you and Duffner right at the top. Notice how our hips right here are pointing this direction. Alright, we're simply turning our body and not coiling, whereas Duffner, he's loaded this right leg up with a lot of power. Alright, he's using this leg as resistance on the ground. Alright, and once you kind of get that figured out as far as learning how to use that leg as a resistance rather than doing just a turn, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. That leg all of a sudden becomes forced into the ground, whereas I noticed that ours kind of moves a little bit here. See that right heel lifting up a little bit. So work on turning and forcing that right leg into the ground. Alright, that's going to clean up a little bit of extra movement that makes it tough to hit the ball. Alright, and one more little thing that I was going to point out too is I noticed with the follow through, you kind of do what in the golf world is called a chicken wing. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but it's where you hold on to the club, really hold on to it, and then you make this, let's see if I can draw the line here, make this L-shaped chicken wing it's called. Whereas Duffner, you can see his arm, you can't really see it here, but his arms are dead straight. They're pointing directly at the target. Let me back up a little bit, and they'll be pointing right down the line. Here. There we go. They're pointing directly that way. Both of them. Whereas whenever we hit the ball in at that same spot, ours is down in that way. This one's trying to hang on for dear life. So we need to sync up our arms a little bit. So a little drill you can do is have your husband pull your arms out directly in front of the ball as like a little drill. Now obviously you're not going to be hitting it when you do that, but really work on extending the arms towards your target. Alright, so we're working today on coiling our legs up a little bit better and then extending our arms to the target. Alright, we don't want to hold on to it here. Let the club go. Let it release towards your target. Let your arms release this direction rather than hang on to it. Hang on to the face here. Alright, here's Duffner again. Arms releasing towards the target. Still got fully extended arms here, and then now they come back. Alright, some little things to work on. Let me know how they go.